I would like to present to you a documentary film about the real thing, about the life and death of a warrior, about the extraordinary personality of a priest from the remotest possible village in the remotest countryside of Bulgaria, Father George from the village of Jeglarci. He spent 45 years of his life under communism. Most of that time he was a priest, he was under pressure, he was persecuted, but in the long run communism fell and Father George won the battle against the system, against atheism. His faith, his unwavering faith, carried him through these times of troubles, and his extraordinary personality changes our perception of history. It changes our understanding of history. Usually we say that under communism priests were not allowed to speak out, not allowed to be fully in the power of their ministry. But in the case of Father George, it was the opposite. He was preaching out loud in the church, outside the church, in the train, in the railway station, everywhere. And he survived. And he had 6 children, he had a family, he had a house, he was working with his hands, making a living with manual labor, and he won. He won the greatest battle of his life, the battle of the warrior of Christ. So this is a film to be taken really with concentration, to be taken seriously. You should take your time. It's 75 minutes. You should switch off your cell phone. You should really stop your other activities and concentrate, because it's not entertainment. This is not fake. This is not artificial. This is the nitty-gritty of life. And the example of Father George is universal. He was living in the middle of nowhere, but his example is absolutely universal. He is on a par with the greatest, because what you are does not depend on the capital of the world or the money or the titles. He had neither. His real value is determined by a more universal standard. This is the standard of Christ, of Christianity, of the real values of life and death. So let us pay our tribute to Father George. We were lucky to meet him during the last year of his life. We were lucky to film probably the last sermon of his life on his deathbed. So this is reality. This is the document of reality. This is not fiction. There is no makeup. There is no artificiality whatsoever. So thank God we were on the right spot at the right time, and now we would like to share with you, on behalf of all the team that worked on this film, we would like to share with you not only our experience, our extraordinary experience, but also our reverence for this person, because he had many spiritual children, and his love for his enemies, his love for his neighbors, for his spiritual children, for all, was so overwhelming that we, in a way, became part of his family, of his real family. He was like our father. He was a father figure. And we hope that this film brings this figure to you, because he is a yardstick for any human being. We should live up to the standard that he's offering, not with his words only, but with his life. His life was his best sermon. That's why, strangely enough, he was speaking all the time about himself, with no pride at all, with no false modesty. He was just living his words and speaking his life. So I wish you to meet Father George, to befriend him, to become part of his family, and to take him as an example for your own life. Thank you.